Welcome in to the USL Pro Weekend Preview. My name's Nicholas Murray, very pleased to be joined by Chris Economides. And Chris, three big games for us to look at ahead of this weekend's action, starting off with Friday night's game as the Dayton Dutch Lions visit the Wilmington Hammerheads. Now, the Hammerheads took a 1-0 win in Dayton this past weekend in the first game of this home-and-home series. Wilmington needs another win, need 3 wins to have a shot at the playoffs. Can the Dutch Lions end their playoff hopes on Friday night?
Make no bones about it, Nicholas. This is a playoff game. With every sense of the word, this is a playoff game. Must win, I believe, obviously from a Wilmington perspective. Should Dayton win, I think that's going to pretty much solidify their foray into the playoffs. Should be a great game. Huge win for the Hammerheads up in Dayton. A must win from their perspective. It's going to be a fun game.
Now, another big game arrives on Sunday afternoon. Two teams that also recently met this past weekend as VSI Tampa Bay visits the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Now, Pittsburgh, they came back from a halftime deficit, took a 2-1 win, and entering the weekend, they're on a 4-game winning streak. Is this the sign of a team that's getting hot just at the right time as it makes its way towards the USL Pro playoffs?
Absolutely, absolutely. Could be the hottest team in the league right now. 2 huge wins in Florida last weekend. Going into VSI Tampa, then going into the Citrus Bowl and back-to-back nights, a couple of big wins. VSI, on the other hand, is struggling. A couple of back-to-back losses to Orlando City. They're on the verge of slipping out of the playoffs. Big game.
Sunday, we head down to Florida for an interleague matchup, which is a big one for Orlando City as they host the Seattle Sounders reserves. Richmond, obviously, they're tied on points with Richmond entering the weekend. Kickers get Dayton on Saturday night. Orlando, they'll want to keep pace with the Kickers ahead of their big game next Wednesday up in Richmond.
It's going to be another fun game. Obviously, the MLS should be in Orlando's future, so it's sort of like a prelude for what the fans are going to see there in the coming years. Obviously, with the first team playing there in the future, but interesting matchup. Big game for Orlando City. I think it's going to come down to that final match in Richmond on the 14th for the first place overall for the league. This is always, a huge match from an MLS, USL Pro perspective. Another big game.
Should be entertaining. All of the games this weekend can be seen on USL Nation. We hope you'll join us for all the action, and we hope you join us next Tuesday as we look back and look ahead to the final weekend of the season. Until then, for Chris, my name's Nicholas. Thanks for joining us.